It is hard to think.
Are you crying?
Yep. I can't tell if my eyes are sweating or if I'm crying. My eyeballs are sweating.
Hey everyone, I'm Tony Martini and welcome to Hot Ones, the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. I'm here today with John Martini, husband extraordinaire and executive producer of the hit movie Electron.
That's right, glad to be here.
All right, man, you ready to get started?
I'm nervous, but we'll see how it goes.
You should be nervous. This is going to get really hot. So we're here to talk about what makes you a husband extraordinaire.
I don't know if I would call myself a husband extraordinaire, but the number one thing is to have an awesome wife that makes it easy to be a husband, and that's what I have.
Now, your wife, Natalie, is it true that you chased her around for 2 years before you got her to actually look at you?
That's absolutely true. We were best friends for probably 2.5 years before we started dating. I wanted to be more than just friends for 2.5 years while we were dating, but it was all worth it and all paid off in the end.
All right, you ready to get some wings?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
Let's get hot. So early on in your dating, you guys went to Buffalo Wild Wings a lot.
We did.
All right, so we're starting here with Buffalo Wild Wings Hot Wing. You ready for that?
I am. This is my go-to. This is what I order every time I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings, so I feel extremely comfortable, not to be overly confident, but I feel like this one's gonna be good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's pretty good moves.
You ready for me to start eating a wing?
Hold on. Do I ask
You
them?
ready for me to start eating a wing?
We're ready. All right, let's go ahead and give the hot wing a shot. Now, as you know, the country's pretty polarized and divided, and Congress passes a lot of laws that a lot of us can't quite agree on. When you're at home, do you obey the law, or do you just turn laws into martinis?
I would say I obey the law. I think Natalie wears the pants in our relationship,
Good.
if
'cause
that's what you're referring to.
That is what I'm referring to.
She absolutely wears the pants, but I think we have a good equal partnership. But when it comes to a pass, I would rather have a happy wife, so I tend to just lean to it.
Now, as you said, she wears the pants in the family. We know that pants are an important part of society, not just because they're twice as long as shorts. But if one person were to wear the pants in the relationship, you definitely are saying it's her.
Yes. Most times we have like dual pants, right?
Dual
So
pants.
she's the left leg and I'm the right leg, and we usually work together in unison. But there are occasions where, when it comes down to it, she wears the pants.
Okay, that's a metaphor you'll never hear again.
Wait, does it look like weakness if I start taking a sip of water now?
I think your weakness will be shown throughout.
Okay, so it's okay if I show it now.
I think either way.
Because I'm taking
you're
a
good.
sip more for the sodium,
Sure.
and less for the heat.
Sure.
Though my lips are
Are
my lips are already burning, so it's not like this isn't hot. It's just that I'm used to the heat.
Okay. Well, if you can't stand the heat, you're going to have a hard time with the rest of this. All right, so next up we have Buffalo Wild Wings Mango Habanero. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and take a bite and show us how it's done.
Alrighty.
Let us know what you think of that. Now, you and Natalie love exploring state parks and national parks. When did this become a tradition, and what is her favorite part about it, and what is your favorite part about it?
Once we got married, we decided we wanted to see all 50 states by the time we were 50. So we just decided we wanted to travel and do more of that. State parks or national parks? Or just all in general?
Just in general.
So that was we just wanted to travel, we wanted to see the world, mainly before we had kids, because then we may settle down and stuff like that. So her favorite part is probably just getting to see new places. We're both kind of mountain people. We like to be up in the mountains. That's our peaceful place. And so I think just getting away from everything and being on vacation and seeing new places is probably her favorite. And then my favorite is the kind of peace factor. When we get away, where we go to a state park or I'm out there on a kayak or fishing or whatever, just all the stress of everything else goes away and we're able to just kind of be at peace, and it's nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How's the heat level on that?
This one is sneaky because it's sweet, but then has a kick to it. But it's not bad. It's pretty good.
You're not hurting too
Much
yet.
At this point, I still have my confidence level started at about here, just maybe about here, because my lips are already burning, and I know these beasts are going to be a heck of a lot hotter. So.
Yeah, these bad boys are gonna get you pretty good.
But I've eaten all the wings on the first two, so I'm kind of proud of that.
All right.
This is going to be like a speed round. I have to speed tell you what they are, and see how well my memory is,
Yeah, let's see. We'll just do.
how good my memory is, how well my English is. Tip of the tongue, teeth, the lips. But I gotta get it. My lips are burning.
All right, I'm going to show you a few pictures of some state parks. We're going to see if you can guess these pictures where you and Natalie.
Do
went
you
and
know what
visited.
state parks these are at?
I do.
No way.
Do you know where that is? Do you know where this interesting photo was
I
taken?
remember walking down the trail when Natalie and I saw it and taking a picture. And I'm going to guess Lake Whitney.
Is that in Huntsville State Park?
No, it is not.
Take a bite of that wing.
Oh, so this is how this is going to work.
That's how it's going to work. And the more you get wrong, the more habanero wings you got to eat.
Okay.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
All right.
That is Lake Whitney.
Wrong again.
Dang it, that looks like Lake Whitney.
Ray Roberts Lake.
Oh my
State
gosh.
Park. Man.
That's close to home, too. Okay.
All right.
I'm the worst.
0 for 2. Husband extraordinary. All right. You ready for this one? You better get this one right.
Okay. That would be Mineral Wells State Park.
You are correct.
All right.
You can have some milk or some water.
Oh, yes. That's the first milk.
All
Ooh,
right.
that's nice.
Is it?
That is a nice, creamy coating.
Yeah. I bet. All right. Ready for the next one? All right.
Let's go. I'm going to say Dinosaur Valley State Park.
You were correct. You were correct. Wow, you dodged another bite of the wing.
Let's go.
All right, last state park.
Oh, that's hard. That is down near Lake Whitney. But it is not Lake Whitney.
Guess Lake Whitney 3 times.
We've been there 3 times.
And it's not.
It's not
in
that.
any of these answers.
What does it start with?
C.
It does start with a C. What's the next letter, though?
E.
Cedar Creek State Park.
Wrong.
Cedar Hill.
Yes, Cedar Hill State Park. All right. I think you might have to take another nibble.
What's my grade?
I'm failing. That's for sure. I think
Oh, really bad.
definitely not.
Good.
Not good.
I thought I would do a lot better than that. I'm sweating.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm starting to get hot.
All right. So next up we have the Blazing Wing from Buffalo Wild Wings. You ready for this one?
This is where I get nervous.
Yeah, you should be very nervous, and it's just gonna get worse.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and take a bite? So we explained in the beginning that you were the executive producer of the hit movie Electron, and we want to know. It's pretty widely known that you're a bit of an impressionist.
Okay.
What is your favorite impression to do, and can you show us what that looks like?
My favorite impression to do is probably the Chris Farley impression because it's so interactive.
Okay. Can you do it sitting down while eating a Blazing Wing?
That would be, oh my freaking gore! This wing is like 30,000 calories of heat just blasting into my mouth and I can't even take it. I'm over here like, you don't know what you're doing. You're over there. Let me tell you something, you little wing. You don't know jack squat.
Oh my goodness, that was perfect. That was great. That was right.
It made the burning stop for a minute, which was fantastic. But it's back.
All right. All right, we're still on the blazing wing, and we're moving on to the Explain That Gram section. Can you explain to us what you were thinking here?
That is Tom Cruise from Greasers, I think. And that is me looking like Tom Cruise from Greasers, I think.
Was this just on a Tuesday?
That was, this was an event at Clear Springs and Andy Pasta's, I believe, where we had like an 80s throwback party kind of event. And so I went as Tom Cruise from The Outsiders. And I think that's a pretty decent comparison. I think I hit the nail on the head pretty well. We found that jean jacket at some little resale shop in Nacogdoches, and it fit perfectly.
That tattoo is sweet.
That tattoo is pretty accurate to what he's got on his arm, and I don't know where we got that.
You
but
look just like him.
I don't want to eat the rest of this wing.
Okay.
I'm pretty proud of how close I came to that, though.
Yeah.
Looking back at that picture, I'm like, wow, we hit the nail on the head pretty well.
All right.
Can you see that I'm sweating? Can you see the water coming out right
No.
here?
All right. Next up, we've got Mad Dog 357. It's about to get real hot up in here.
Now we're getting to the official, like, Hot One show wings. And they're all supposed to be hotter than blazing, and I'm uncomfortable already, so I'm not excited for this.
Yeah, good luck on this one.
Kind of giving me a new appreciation for, like, Dax Shepard and the guys on Hot Ones who did it without any sort of problem. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
This hurts. Every time I lick my lips, I feel like it's going to make it better, and it makes it 10 times worse. It's not even the tongue, it's the lips. No, do I need to bite it? Dang it.
Hold on. Well, you do, but I'm trying to.
So you bit that already?
No.
Oh, you haven't bit it yet.
I'm going to whip the sauces, though. I think I'm going to have to eat this piece.
So you have a tendency to be creative. Can you describe to us your thought process and how you went about proposing to Natalie?
Oh, that's a gross flavor. Oh, that's not even about it tasting good. That's just about it kicking your butt with heat. We went.
Is it hot or does it taste bad?
It just tastes bad right now.
Tastes bad, but it's not hot.
No, it's hot.
But it
But it
also
tastes
is bad.
It's mostly bad, but also hot.
But also hot.
So, Natalie and I are big fans of geocaching, and so I went through trying to plan how I was going to propose to her for months and months and months. And I decided, like, just saying,
Going for the milk.
I've drank like half the cup of milk already. That's embarrassing.
I don't know if he's going to make it.
That's embarrassing. So, then I tried to decide, okay, well, what's going to be something that's going to kind of make it special? And since we love doing the geocaching stuff, I was like, doing a geocache would be really cool, really special. So then I wanted her family to help us out in getting it all set up, and planted it in the geocache, and then had her show up and filmed it and came up and surprised her, so it was a real good time. It is hard to think.
Are you crying?
Yep. I can't tell if my eyes are sweating or if I'm crying. My eyeballs are sweating.
Eyeballs are sweating. Now, is it true that she was more preoccupied with sliding down the slide?
It's absolutely true. And in fact, there's a video of me and Hannah like waiting, and they're like, okay, she's gonna read this letter, it's gonna be perfect. And then she runs off to the side and goes and gets on the slide, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna be here a while, and hopefully she'll get to the letter. But that's just her. She's quirky, she's fun, and she absolutely wasn't expecting it, which made it cool.
Ready for the next wing?
I don't know, this sucks.
True love right here. Do we need to speed through the other two?
It's surprisingly hard to talk
Yeah.
and have a conversation and answer you. Because even as I'm talking right now, it just stings. And any second that I don't have milk in my mouth is horrible. How in the world does Sean Evans do this every episode? This is a horrible idea. Wings were a bad choice.
All right, next up we've got Da Bomb. You ready to be Da Bomb?
Beyond insanity. The bomb beyond insanity. I'm not ready for this one because this is the one that even though this one is supposing... I'm talking with a lisp now. Even though this one is supposedly the last one.
You handled the 357 like a champ.
Did I? Do you think so? Okay, I feel better now. My mouth doesn't, but
All right, next
I feel
up
like
is
I'm struggling.
Da Bomb. You can go ahead and take a bite of that wing if you're ready, man. You know, it's a preconceived notion that you're a bit of an adventure seeker. What would you say is the greatest or most challenging adventure you've ever been on? Sub question: have you told Natalie that you jumped out of an airplane? And did you ask for her permission?
Okay.
How's the bomb?
It's the bomb. The jumping out of an airplane was by far the biggest adventure that I've ever done. And I told Natalie I was thinking about it. So Ben, who is the daredevil friend of mine, asked me and Daryl on like a Wednesday, hey, you guys want to go skydiving on Saturday? It's extremely short notice, and we're just like, sure. So, but I'm like up in the air about it. It costs like $200, and so that's another part of it. Do I really want to spend that much money to possibly die? And so then Natalie is flying to Indiana. So she didn't actually know if I was going to do it because I didn't know if I was going to do it until she was in the air. And then I decided I would do it. So while she was in a plane, I was in a plane. While she stayed in a plane, I jumped out of a plane and landed, and then told her afterwards after I had made it alive. So
that seems like a smart move. It's probably the only time you would ever have been able to pull that off.
probably, if she was local, then she probably wouldn't have been.
Or
for it.
just able to get in touch with, she might have talked you out of it. I don't know.
That's true. It was an extremely spontaneous thing. Probably the most spontaneous thing I've ever done. And I think in the back of her head she knew I was going to do it, but
Do you think that had you not made it, not only would you have died, do you think she would have revived you and then killed you again
probably.
for not telling her?
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Which is fair.
Fair.
That's fair.
Next we've got Blair's After Death Sauce. So it's tradition to put a little extra. You want to do the honors?
I think I would.
All right.
I was a little nervous with you going to do it. I don't want to do the honors. Is that enough?
I would say that's enough.
To be honest, I came away from Da Bomb going, that one wasn't as bad as I thought. And then I realized afterwards it's because I was putting liquids in my mouth every 6 seconds.
Yes.
Because this, hurts.
Yeah. All right. You ready for this?
When I don't have liquid in my mouth, the tears start coming too. That's how they get you.
Now this last one is a two-part question.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, you go ahead and take a bite. Now, you ready?
Good question.
For unmarried folks like me, and after 5 years of marriage, what kind of advice would you give so that I may have success in that endeavor?
One more time.
After 5 years of marriage, what kind of advice would you give? What life lessons have you learned through being married for 5 years?
I would say compromise is the number one thing in marriage that both of you have to be. You have to find somebody that's open-minded. You have to respect each other's opinions, and you can't be stubborn to not change or to be prideful and that you're always right or you have the one way. Always understanding that both people usually are right in some form or fashion, and then coming to what's going to work best for you as a couple.
That's good advice. How's that wing tasting?
Like needles in my lips.
Do you want another little dab?
I'm sorry.
Do you want another little dab?
Do I want one? I do not want one.
All right, final question before I let you out of the hot seat. When are you and Natalie going to have a baby?
That's I'll take another dab.
Take another dab?
So I can think about that question.
Okay, here. How's that for a dab?
Did you say a dab? That was a
Can we
kind of
Can
dab.
we get a close-up of this dab?
Golly. Just look at it run.
Let it drip off. Just let it drip. There it is. There you go. And you gotta answer the baby question. Everyone wants to know.
Okay.
When are we getting a little martini up in here?
That one tastes kind of like blazing. But it hurts more. Okay.
Year-wise, what can we expect? 2020, 2021,
2020, I would say probably not.
Okay,
But
disappointing.
more possible than any year prior.
Well,
Which makes sense
that
because
does
we're
make sense.
like the odds of us having a baby 2 years ago is not good.
Right.
But Natalie and I have talked about 2020 as a potential year.
Okay.
For a few reasons. One, it would be easy to remember our baby's age if they were born in 2020,
Yeah, you just round it to the nearest 10.
which is why you would have a baby.
Right. Exactly. It's math. It's hard enough as it is. So.
But
Plus, your baby would have great vision.
but I would say before 30 years old. And I'm 27.
Okay, so you have 3 years to figure that one out.
3 years, 2020 I'll be 28. I would say either 2020 or 2021 if I was putting money on it.
Okay. And if you weren't putting money on it?
2018. If I wasn't putting money on it and say a year ago.
Statistically impossible. So out of these three, do you rank them in this order as far as like hot to hottest?
I will sit here for 10 seconds without putting liquid in my mouth to see how hot after death really is.
Yeah, you've been chugging liquids.
Yeah.
Do you need more milk? He needs some milk.
Do they drink this much on the show?
Honestly, I don't think so.
Mom's like, no. Oh. This is why they don't.
Well, John,
I think
give me some nucks. Congratulations, you survived Hot Ones.
this one blasted me surprisingly.
Yeah.
This one was way hotter after I stopped drinking liquids, and I can't tell a difference between these two. They're both just like needles, constant needles in my tongue and lips, and my eyes.
Eyes.
Sinuses are going to be cleared for good.
Well, John, congratulations on surviving another episode of Hot Ones. Table's yours, 30 seconds. Tell this camera, this camera, this camera what's going on in your life, and anything else you want us to know.
So, coming up October 25th, 2019 is going to be mine and Natalie's anniversary. Natalie, happy anniversary. I love you. I hope you appreciate that I did this for you because it hurt, but you're hotter than these wings, and I've loved the last 5 years, and I'm excited for the next 5, 10, 20, 30, whatever more. Love you.
All right, that's a wrap.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Oh.